something has stayed consistent. Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the...
And good morning and welcome to the First Federal program, the 25th of July, as we welcome Evan to the show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Randy.
How you doing?
Great.
Beautiful weather out.
That's right. Wait a second.
Yeah.
I heard the lady say muggy on that update.
Yeah.
I think
isn't that great?
I think the English invented that word just specifically for weather-related description.
Yeah. Well, I saw a meme last night that explained it perfectly. It had this picture of the sun, the earth, and Indiana, the state of Indiana. Was
That's about right.
So yeah,
I heard a rumor from someone this summer for some reason that was saying like an expert told him it was because of all the corn in Indiana causing more humidity.
There's this new thing they say corn sweat now. That this is the first time hearing of this thing.
I didn't know
all
about
my
this either.
years of living around. But this supposed
and you've got a few years living around here, I've heard.
Yeah. Not as many as Todd, but yeah. So that's what they're saying now.
Okay.
So,
well, maybe.
I guess we need to tell the farmers to plant more beans.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bad rotation this year.
Who knows?
Well, it's great to be on the First Federal Radio program this morning. Thanks for having us.
Glad you could join us.
Yep, my pleasure. We're going to be talking with First Federal's own Bryan later in the program, a real veteran of our radio show, and we're going to see if he's got some insights for us on long-term financial planning. That's his gig for us, and he does a great job on it.
To the test today.
That's right, yeah. Really tighten the screws on this one. Well, there's been a lot of things going on, as we know, in legislation. They passed a big bill that's going to potentially affect some things, so it's
big,
a little...
Big, beautiful bill.
Oh, I forgot the one adjective on that.
Triple B.
They there's probably a little early, but we'll see if there's some things that might be interesting as they flesh that out a little bit in terms of retirement planning, investments, those kinds of things. Yep. All right. Well, Tanner's here too. Hi, Tanner.
Good morning.
All right. Well, what's our trivia this morning? We got to give Randy a good one here.
Yeah, came up with a good one I think this morning. We'll see if we can stump them on. I don't know.
Stumped me last week.
I did. I don't know.
Streak. I feel a streak coming.
We got an entertainment related question
Lord.
this morning. So
not good odds already.
so Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, passed away yesterday at the age of 71. And he was not only a famous professional wrestler, but he was an actor as well. So I want to know which Rocky film did he appear in as the character Thunderlips?
Man, I can picture it, but now I got to figure out what number.
Rocky 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Oh. Yeah, I can picture the movie. I see him.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Have you guys seen any of the newer ones with?
No.
I have not. Or the spin-offs.
Yeah.
The Creed movies. That
Those are the ones I mean.
Yeah.
No, I haven't either. Yeah.
I'm thinking it has to be 3 or 4 that are getting desperate after
A little juice in there.
Yeah.
Squeezing all the money they can out of the sequels.
Because we had Mr. T in one of them too.
Yeah.
Pity the Fool,
Yep.
Yeah, there's some good quotes in some of those.
Yeah.
Good one.
If you're from that era, anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure they hold up quite as well.
Yeah.
No, they're not probably near as good now.
There's some homework for you.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, what about sports? It feels like we're kind of in the valley here a little bit.
It's kind of, we've been kind of in the dog days of summer if you're not a baseball fan. But starting to see things ramp up. NFL training camps are underway.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Big Ten Media Day, or yesterday and the prior 2 days, because it's a 3-day event now, with 18 teams. Was Big Ten Media
Day. You can't have them all at the same time.
And they had it in Vegas.
What?
Yeah, Las Vegas. Indianapolis has held it the last handful of years.
Yeah.
It was in Vegas this year.
See, that's one thing that worries me, off topic here, but with these other schools now, a lot of things that the state of Indiana got to hold, where's it going to go?
Right.
Yeah, West Coast.
Vegas and all these places out there,
TV money.
Right.
That's all But so of course you got good quotes from coaches, which was interesting this year because in years past, yes, everybody's had good summer workouts. They want to see how big the team are. Well, now nobody knows the rosters if you're outside the building, so there's a lot of good questions asking about new players. So it was kind of interesting.
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting.
How long until they change the NIL landscape again?
Probably within the next year.
That's what I wonder.
Well, I just heard that Trump signed an executive order that's supposed to have something to do with that.
I saw the headline.
Yeah.
I didn't read too much
I
into
haven't
it.
read it
Yeah.
yet to know exactly.
I saw
but
that yesterday.
something
But,
about it.
yeah, it's gonna change often. I feel like I don't know.
The intersection of politics and sports has
No,
never
that's
been
a plus
bigger
for
right now.
I don't know when this conference and realignment stuff's gonna
Yeah.
stop. I saw a report yesterday that North Carolina's interested in leaving the ACC for the SEC.
Oh my.
Just, I
Interesting.
mean, we're gonna end up with 2 huge conferences eventually, and then everybody else.
I would say 2 or 3.
Yeah. Something like that. So.
Of course, and I think it was before Media Day, but some great inter-rival coaches' comments between
Sure.
Purdue and IU.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, they brought it up
Uh-huh.
to Kirk Signetti and
Yeah.
Media
Yeah.
Days. He kind of said he didn't think about it much, but then his next answer told you he thought about it a
Yeah.
little bit. So, I mean, until the college football playoff committee comes out and says strength of schedule is one of the things we're going to take into consideration, I don't blame people for scheduling
Yeah.
themselves what should be automatic wins.
right.
No, I don't
No.
blame them.
I mean, you get some of that in basketball with
Right.
early season stuff because
Right.
Yeah.
you're able to get more games.
Right.
Football, you're limited on the number of games.
So,
but
until the SEC gets a ninth conference game, and then maybe the Big Ten comes in and says, well, okay, you have to schedule
right, an SEC.
a Power 4 opponent or whatever it
Yeah.
might be in the non-conference schedule. And so many of these football schedules are made 5 years out, 10 years out in some
Ridiculous.
cases.
Yeah.
And unless you want to pay the buyout like Indiana did with Louisville in the past and now Virginia, a lot of schools don't want to do that, so they just stick with it
Yeah. It'll be
and see what
interesting.
happens. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's scheduled by the previous.
Previous
leadership.
athletic director
Right,
or
yeah.
whoever might be in
Well,
charge. So.
It'd be tough if you had a different outlook on it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a student at Purdue, they played at Rice in 2011, ended up losing, embarrassingly enough. But everybody's like, why are we playing at Rice? It was a home and home contract signed back when they hosted them in 1998.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes those
That's my vintage.
those schedules just they're really wonky in football.
Crazy.
So, but that was an interesting topic
Yeah,
of discussion out there
I'm
for
sure.
sure. In MLB, playoffs started today. Your American League division winners would be the Tigers, the Astros, and the Blue Jays. Your wild card teams would be the Yankees, the Mariners, and the Red Sox. But there's a whole bunch of, I think there's 5 or 6 other teams within 5.5 games for those wild card spots. National League, the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Brewers would be your division winners. The Cubs, the Phillies, and the Padres would be your wild card. It's not anything the Cubs are doing wrong.
No.
The Brewers are just red
They're
hot.
red hot. They need to find some AC quickly.
Yeah, so, but they're both battling out for best record in the National League right now. So
Well, you'd think the odds would pull them back just a little bit after being so hot.
you would think
Yeah, you don't think they can.
they've kind of been a pain in the Cubs' side for about the last 8 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of they're becoming what the Cardinals used to
Yes.
be for
Right,
the Cubs.
more
So
and more
it's
so.
just weird to think, but
Yeah, I noticed you didn't mention the Cardinals in there.
Sorry,
I
Bryan.
did. But they are. I think they're about 3 games outside the wild card, and the Reds are 2. So that Central outside the Pirates, really good division right now.
Tanner's been told he's not allowed to mention the Cardinals.
Yeah,
or the
I know
or the
better. I know
Packers.
better.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few rules,
Yeah.
not too many. We allow him to mention the
So-
Boilermakers, or he
yeah.
wouldn't show up.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think? What do you think's coming next with umpires? Because I know this year there have been a bunch of umpiring issues with games, and
I think
Is
we're
the
getting
robot
closer and
coming?
closer to robots. I really do.
The
Don't
cha-
know what that looks like,
The
but
challenge is an interesting idea to get it right, but
Right.
it's just kind of a stall that's just
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
yeah, they picked it up with the pitch, with the pitch clock
Yeah.
and everything else, and
Yeah.
now they may slow it back down a little
Yeah.
bit. But
The
we're gonna have
purists,
to limit challenges, and only if you win. I mean, there's a lot of
the
thinking that's gonna have to go
the
into it.
purists are not going to be happy with that.
is it this year in the NFL that they're getting rid of the actual chains, or is that still? I remember there was
There
talk.
was talk
Yeah.
about it.
Because
Yeah.
that's something I'm surprised they're still using the old-fashioned chain.
Yeah.
Because there's so much technology now with lasers and everything.
Right, yeah. It could be,
Yeah.
because I knew it was coming. I
Yeah.
don't know where they're...
And I think they've tested it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see what happens in the
Yeah.
preseason games.
Yeah, but umpiring, especially out there on social media, you have a lot of people that have their opinions on umpiring.
You know how life changes and then common words or phrases kind of go away into the chain gangs.
Yeah.
We're not gonna,
No.
that's not even going to be a thing anymore.
Even the laser game.
Yeah.
The laser crew. Bring out the laser crew.
Oh gosh.
Well, I got some tidbits here this morning. On this day, 1956, Pittsburgh Pirates legend Roberto Clemente hit MLB's first and only walk-off inside the park grand slam
Wow.
for a 9-8 win over the visiting Chicago Cubs at Forbes
Oh,
Field.
of course that'd be it.
The Cubs find themselves in a lot of milestones,
History.
good and bad.
Usually not usually on the positive side of it
No,
either.
very few.
I would love to see a highlight of how he did that.
Yeah.
Inside the park grand slam, how many bounces did it take? Was there any error? I gotta think there was an error or two on the play
Did this
there.
thing get stuck under a
Yeah.
rock out there or something?
Yeah.
And then it won the game. Walk off.
Yeah, walk off.
It could.
It's
I
a
don't think by
perfect play.
definition there's any more exciting play in
No,
baseball.
there
I
can't
can't
be.
think of what else could be
There can't
added
be.
to that to
No,
make it more.
no. I mean, walk-off singles pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And when you say walk-off grand slam,
Clear the
that's-
bases
Yeah.
that's-
to win.
Inside the park where there's
Yeah,
chaos
right,
going on.
right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, find a clip for us. Dan.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
incorporate that in
I'll
a future
get
show.
I'll get on that. On this day, 1980, Atlantic Records and Albert Productions released Back in Black, the seventh studio album by AC/DC. This was their first featuring lead singer Bryan Johnson. Ended up being a worldwide smash, selling over 50 million copies.
That tells you something.
Yeah.
Their seventh album was 1980.
Yeah. Now, a lot of music. They're still producing some music today. So. And on this day in 2024, the Piano Man, Billy Joel, performed his 150th and final show of his 10-year, once-a-month residency at Madison Square Garden, New York City.
Whoa.
And if you go there, they have a banner that hangs down, kind of along with the Knicks and different things for Billy Joel. So
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
Wow,
Pretty
I
cool.
didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's quite a few performances at the world's most famous arena, as they call it. So, and got a lot of days today. Today's National Hot Fudge Sundae Day.
Ah.
That's always a good one. National Wine and Cheese Day. National Hire a Veteran Day. National System Administrator Appreciation Day.
That's a big one.
That is a big one.
Keep us going.
Keep us connected.
Yeah, connected.
Carousel Day. Well, I don't know about you guys, but when I just watch those things, they almost make me sick to my stomach just watching them. So I'm not gonna be on one of those anytime soon.
When you grow up, things like that and swing sets.
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
It's not quite as
Not-
fun as
yeah.
the older you get. I
Take a
don't know
different,
why.
take a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
meaning.
Yeah, that's right.
International Red Shoe Day. National Talking to Elevator Day.
Awkward.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty awkward. Ask an Archaeologist Day.
That's awkward.
Yeah. National Get Gnarly Day. I just put that in there one because that's a term, kind of 90s term. I'd
Yeah,
say
there you
gnarly.
go.
In National Thread the Needle Day, which you can that's used a lot in sports.
Yes,
thread,
it is.
Thread the needle.
Yeah.
Different.
Gnarly makes me think of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
It's probably one of Brian's favorite movies growing up. All right, we got a couple upcoming events. Fulton County Pack a Backpacks going on today from 9 to noon at Tidewater Executive Tax Services in between 9th and 8th Street here on Main Street. You know where that is, and that's great. That's where you can pick up a backpack with school supplies.
Yeah, I read that they were expecting between yesterday and today to give out over 800.
Well, I'm going to say there was probably 500 downtown yesterday because I mean every time I looked out, parking lots were full and kids and parents were everywhere. So
That's really a neat ministry.
Yeah. Shout out to Jackie Johnson and her team that helps with that.
They've been doing it for a long time. Also, the 7th annual Fulton County Animal Shelter Rummage Sale going on August 22nd to 24th at the Fulton County Museum. It's 10 to 5 on the 22nd, 23rd, and 10 to 4 on the 24th. They accept anything that you want to donate, and then they'll sell it, and it's a great charitable event.
awesome.
You ever been to it?
I have not been out there.
Okay, maybe this will be the year. find that treasure.
Might need something.
And we'll be having somebody from the animal shelter as our guest here on the First Federal Show when we get closer to time for that event.
That's hard to believe they've been doing it 7 years now.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was a good creative idea. All right, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ hit a new 52-week high yesterday actually. S&P closed at 63.63, up 52 points this week. NASDAQ closed at 21,057, up 86 points this week. Think about what those numbers were when I first started getting into after college. It had grown a lot, I'll just say that. It's crazy what happens over time. Thinking First Federal. We're open 8:30 to 5 today here in Rochester, 8:30 to noon on Saturday, tomorrow. We got a great ATM, recently updated, that you can tap to get money out. You got a new interface. You can deposit your cash or your checks. It's a great ATM, and it's conveniently located.
Right downtown?
Yeah, there's hardly time goes by where there's not a car there.
Is it
No,
always
yeah.
lying?
And usually when I need to use it, there's 4 or 5.
You need some learned behavior here,
Yeah,
Randy.
apparently. I have to do it early in the morning.
Yeah. We do offer, and I had a question about this the other day, Simply Free Checking Accounts is our name for our free checking product, and we don't have the monthly fees on that. So it's a nice product for young people getting into it, or someone that maybe they're not going to necessarily keep a lot of money in that transaction account, which is a lot of us. So it's a great account. When you open one today, what's our gift? Is this our last?
This is our last
week.
radio show for the choice of 2 different gifts, which is a neck fan or a First Federal cooler bag.
I see neck fans around a lot
Yeah,
during
yeah.
summertime.
Especially this last
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
This
for
been
instance.
really long.
Yeah.
You put a little mister on that too,
Uh-huh.
so it sprays you.
Yep.
Is that?
We'll get the R&D team on that.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we can produce one of those for next summer. And then next week,
We got a double burger press starting next week. So
it's not weightlifting, it's
Nope.
it's
It is.
culinary
Yes,
related.
yes.
Some kind of
for your
food.
barbecuing and
Yeah,
your
there you
grilling.
go.
So
Ah.
I'll bring it in next week and show it off for everybody on Facebook.
We'll see.
Okay.
Pressure's on you.
Great free gift for opening a checking account, but also you can't forget you can get one just for referring a friend who opens a checking
You do
account.
that in person and online, and when your friend comes in to open up an account, they get a gift for opening the account, and you do as well just for referring them. So pretty easy way.
That's Randy Wynn. Just tell them I referred.
I like that. That's a better strategy for you.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be talking here in just a second to Bryan Bell from our Financial Services Department. He's one of our financial advisors, doing a wonderful job for us. So, great time to hear about that long-term money planning and how you can make some plans now, get ahead, make sure you've got the funds that you want to have when you're ready to retire. So, we're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Our borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927.
Makes it legal.
That's all the required stuff.
That's
Randy.
the required stuff.
Now we can relax. It's on.
Now the fun part.
Hey, welcome back, Bryan.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, really excited to have you. Yeah, I was just thinking that there's been so much news about Congress trying to pass this big, I don't know what they call these bills where everything's shoved into it,
Right.
omnibus or something. I'm not really
Sneaky.
sure. Yeah, sneaky. But
They
they're
put everything in one.
they're hard to understand,
Right.
and I think even the reporters leading up to this stuff, they don't really know what's in there. So, but I'm just thinking about understanding that. I thought first we'd talk a little bit about our financial services that we offer through First Federal Savings Bank, and then maybe we could talk about any tidbits from that legislation that's coming out so far and what you guys are kind of looking at into the future to understand about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
And we're all the professionals. We're trying to interpret the bill and what it means for the future. So we're excited to do that. We're keeping our ears open, I guess. And so we're in the process of doing that. But I definitely have a lot of good information to share
All right.
about that this morning.
Starting out, what do you spend your day doing? What are you helping people with? What are we offering?
As a financial advisor, I mean, it's a mass of things that we do every day. But the biggest, I think, to water it down from a macro perspective, we're just able to sit down with somebody and help them with their financial planning needs. And it may be as simple as they got a little extra cash, and they're like, "What do I do with this? It's sitting in my checking or my savings account." Like, and with rates these days, you got to take advantage of the high yields we have, even with the CD, the money market. So it can be as simple as that. Just educating them on the simple fact that if they're going to have some cash sitting around, they can have it working for them, trying to keep up with inflation. And the big picture too is just to sit down and maybe help them accomplish their retirement goals. So if they're moving into retirement years, do they need to produce income? Yeah.
How do we survive?
Yes, exactly. So can they dial things back? Can they live on Social Security and some savings? So we're doing that financial planning there. We've ran into instances where people have inheritances, or they come into money that they weren't expecting. And what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And what's the best way maybe to preserve some taxes? Because that's obviously comes into play there too. So every day is different. I love that. And I get to help out all 6 branches. So I get to travel around a little bit in northern Indiana. And if you ever need to reach us, we're at 574-223-1705. You can call any branch and they can get a hold of us.
Okay.
And that's my direct line there. But every day is different. And then on another, just separate side of it, we also get to help people with their Social Security and Medicare decisions as well. So we started that probably 5 years ago.
Now, I've had parents and grandparents go through that process, and that they just made it seem like it could be very complicated and a little time pressure.
And it's just confusing, and you don't deal with it every day. So obviously something new like that, you're just trying to make the best decision. And it is a huge decision. So I was lucky enough to have a little over 10 years at the Social Security Administration before coming to the bank, and so I'm able to help you with those decisions as well. And what kind of strategies are there? Taking your Social Security, survivor benefits, spouse, and then that, when you turn 65, we need that Medicare. So I'm able to help you with that as well.
Oh, that's a great service. I think most people, they come into a situation that they're facing, like the extra money or maybe inheritance, the things you mentioned, Brian, and it's like they don't want to look back and say, I was uninformed, I didn't know what I was doing, I wasted opportunity. There's a little bit of motivation there where they're not sure what to do, but they know they should do something.
Yes, I agree, and that's funny you bring that up, because I just ran into a great customer that the cash was sitting there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things. Just like I didn't know what to do. So I think as humans, if you're kind of unsure and you don't know what to do, you kind of put it on the back burner.
I agree.
It's not as easy.
Avoid the stress, dude. It's anxiety.
Yeah. But really, just I urge everyone just to come sit down with us. There's no cost. It's a light and airy conversation. We can help at least just educate you, and then just empower you with those tools if you so decide to make that choice. Yeah.
That's a great example. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of pressure when you're dealing with larger amounts of money, or you're dealing with an aspect of timing where somebody's feeling like they need to do something soon, but they just don't know what. None of us, that's uncomfortable. None of us like to be in those situations, and just knowing that we can listen, give some information, and help get that off their shoulders and put into play, or they can sleep well at night and feel solid about it.
Yeah, exactly. And LPL Financial, that's our broker-dealer at First Federal, and that's who we clear through. That they help us, I really believe, just being independent, customizing whatever that individual's goals and needs
Good
are.
point.
And, you don't have to, it's not all like a one-size-fits-all solution. So everything's different. You may need some liquidity, so how do I best do that? How do I get access to my money when I need it? But versus there's a long-term goal. I saw everybody's social media. I saw it was great. There's a day trader and then a long-term investor, and the day trader's like, hey, I made $200 before I went to lunch, and then the long-term investor's like, well, I made $2 million without doing anything. So it was it's just kind of funny perspective.
Yeah, it is.
Investing is a long-term marathon. Yeah, and then if you set up your strategies and your fundamentals, you can stick to that. And then, this year's been, we're almost into August, but it seems like a lot has happened.
Yes, it does.
The market's swung around a little bit. You just mentioned how it made another high again.
Yeah.
Not as much as last year. I think S&P was like 58 all-time highs last year. So that's really interesting to see the market do that. But I think the thing you can always fall back on is uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
The market doesn't like. I think you can go back many, many years and talk about that.
I think so too. Lack of clarity, and all of a sudden things go a little bit wonky.
Yeah, it just does not like that. And then what really drives it, I mean, we can discuss that, but it's earnings, right?
Mhm.
We're kind of into that earnings season, and it's really driving the market. So, but a nice, a fundamental plan, strategy. You got your base. You got to stick to those. You can't get wrapped up in the emotional day to day. Yeah.
Maybe turn the news off a little bit.
Yeah.
Head to bed early. No.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Well, let's talk for a minute here about any nuggets that are being talked about from the big beautiful bill, which Randy reminded us of.
Yes, the OBBB. Yeah. So some good things. I mean, right? Like we all have to pay taxes, but what was nice is they extended the tax cuts that were into play in his first term, is what I understand. So that was a good thing. Those were supposed to sunset. So, right, the cost of doing business was going to go up for corporate, so they extended that permanently.
That's
my
good.
understanding. No tax on tips. So that's obviously all of our servers out there and anybody else that gets a tip. That's kind of nice to get there. And then no tax on overtime. My understanding too is, which is funny, is I gotta preface that because we're all trying to interpret this at the same time. So,
Right.
But I believe they're going to take that back for the whole tax year of 2025. So they're going to the no taxes. I believe
back.
I believe you're going to get that back. Don't quote me if you don't get it back. That's what I understand from it.
Something to look out for. Yeah.
Yeah, the no tax on Social Security. I mean, that's huge for our seniors or retirees, and that kind of a little bit of different planning if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
The way I understand that though is so they have the standard deduction, and what they added was an additional deduction of $6,000 per person, so $12,000 for a married couple. So what they're saying is for the average retired American is that you'll get that additional $12,000 deduction on top of the standard deduction. So it pretty much makes your Social Security not tax. I believe that's, but if they don't want to. It's easier to say no tax.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but it should cover most Social Security income levels.
You have to blanket.
Yeah.
So I think that's. I mean, again, we're all interpreting this at the same time. They permanently increased the child tax credit. So growing families, that's good news.
Yeah.
And they obviously they took some money, right? And so this is we spent money. So so they're gonna figure that out. But they increased what was the defense.
That's
They
right.
increased the defense budget, stuff like that, which we can't necessarily, I don't think, be mad about.
Right.
Just to
It's important.
support them. And trying to think, I got some cheat sheet here, but if I'm missing anything, you guys chime in. But there was a lot packed in. But I at the same time, I think it's positive. We just got to figure out what does that mean for us.
Yeah. How does it affect each person, each customer? That's great. Finally, we're speaking with Bryan Bell from our Financial Services Department at First Federal, and about kind of that long-term financial planning, set yourself up for success with a good strategy. One aspect I was just thinking of this morning that probably comes into place becomes charitable giving. Does that come up very often when people are looking at the longer term or inheritance or just things like that?
Great question. So with your IRAs, when you got to take your required minimum distribution, that is now at age 73. So you've had that IRA, you've worked, you're retired, you saved, and now Uncle Sam said, hey, you need to take your required minimum distribution because you've had this tax deferred growth all this time, and we're kind of missing out on it. So so 73, you got to take out. It's I think it's around 3.5%. There's a table the IRS makes for them, so we don't have to guess at that. And then, but that, if you don't need it because it's just going to add to your taxable income, you can actually donate that to a charitable cause, and then that's a deduction for you instead of a taxable event. So a lot of, I say a lot, but that's just a great way to not have to take that and just add it to your taxable income in retirement when you don't need to. because you're creating a tax versus getting that deduction. A lot people when they find that out, and it may be $400 a month or something,
Right.
Just anything little that they have a great passion for. Yeah.
Are you seeing that used a little bit more?
Oh yeah, yep.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
And in our IRAs, like in our platforms, we can do that directly for you. That we can send it right to the institution,
Neat.
right to the just for you,
So simple.
for benefit from you. So we can do it. It doesn't have to necessarily go to you, so it can go straight to the organization as well. You keep record of that.
We love thinking about that. It's community building.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
exactly. The one thing I just saw on my cheat sheet here was the, which I think is interesting on the OBBBA, was the, so your interest on your auto loans are going to be deductible now. But I believe there's a little fine print that it has to be an American-made
Oh, no
auto.
way.
So I think so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, we haven't been able to deduct your interest on your. So that's
Yeah.
like, do I pay the car off? Do I not?
Right.
Now you got to think
Play
about
into that a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for kind of coming in and help us understand a few of those topics that are going to be discussed a lot and still working out. I got one question for you. What's your bet on the Fed interest rate decision next week?
Oh man, I think they've kicked the can down the road a little bit. It sounded like in June there's like, well, we could cut, but I'm watering this down obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, we could cut, but we're going to wait till July. So I think it's been all this talk. I see probably 25 bips. I see them cutting because I think the data is there to support that now. They have been leery because the Fed's decision, no matter how you feel about it, it's reactionary.
Yes.
Right? It's never
Yeah.
never proactive. So
And they've said they're going to be looking back at stuff in their decision.
yeah, they've said that enough, and I think they're leaning. So we'll see. But now I guess if I had to bet, if I had to go to Vegas, I would say I think they're going to cut.
All right, Tanner, make sure we talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Brian. We loved having you on. Let's answer the trivia question.
Okay,
Hulk Hogan was in which Rocky film?
I'm gonna go with 2.
Okay.
3.
The answer is 3.
Yeah.
That's the Mr. T one. They were both in that
Okay.
one. You might pick that one
All
up
right.
for this weekend. You might grab that one
There you
from
go.
your local video store. Check it out.
Blockbuster.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
Blockbuster.
get the Blockbuster.
We had Video Stop as well here.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Our words of wisdom for this morning. Now, this is a name I've never said out loud. A Greek philosopher, Epictetus. Look that one up.
Okay.
I'm sure he was a great man. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Matter of perspective.
There you go. Brian, thanks for joining us. Tanner and Evan, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Randy.
Yeah,
Thank you.